interesting directors and you know, those hardcore directors that you don't want to get on the bad side with. Recently saw Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, of course, directed by none other than Quentin Tarantino.
That's right.
Now he's calling it his 9th film. Technically, you know, he's made 10 films, but he considers Kill Bill Volume 1 and 2 to be one. So that's how he's getting away with calling this latest one.
Whatever you want.
His 9th film.
Whatever you want to call it.
No, but I actually really enjoyed this movie. It's a little long. 2 hours 45 minutes.
Oof,
However,
it's a little long for me.
The time length is a little long, and at times the movie can seem like it's dragging, but that may be because, you know, people who go into the film, they may have seen Inglourious Bastards or they've seen another Quentin Tarantino film where there's a lot of action and back-to-back scenes, cut scenes. This one is a little more. He's taking his time with this film. He's letting the characters fully flesh themselves out, and that really helps the film and really helps you.
So talk a little bit about who the characters are, what this is about, because there's a little bit of controversy around that too.
Yeah, so we have right now we have
notes.
We have notes, of course. Yeah, in this film we follow the characters. Actor Rick Dalton, he's actually played by Leonardo DiCaprio. Stuntman
Leo.
Cliff Booth, played by Brad Pitt, and actress Sharon Tate, a real life actress Sharon Tate. She's being played by Margot Robbie. Now the two characters by Pitt, great cast. The whole movie is centered really around this core three, and you know the other two actors. So Leo and Brad Pitt, they're playing these characters that are fictional characters. These aren't real
okay, so they're
people.
not real to the story. Okay,
yeah, but of course Sharon Tate. Everyone may hopefully, you know, many people still remember what happened back in 1969. The Charles Manson family, they went to Hollywood to Tate's rented house. And murdered Sharon Tate. She was pregnant. It's a terrible story.
9 months pregnant,
and so going into this movie, you know, a lot of people already raising questions and concerns of, you know, is it appropriate to be able to use Sharon Tate or even that story or any details of that history to be one of the main plots of this new film.
Yeah.
And in this could have been played in bad taste. I honestly think, though, Quentin Tarantino, he has such a love and passion for not only film, but really for Hollywood and the Hollywood culture. And what he does with Sharon Tate, what Margot Robbie does with Sharon Tate, it really makes them more human, humanizes them. And I think it is, well...
Did they actually show the murder?
So you wouldn't have
I don't want to give away spoilers.
I'm not giving away spoilers, but you wouldn't have a Quentin Tarantino movie or film without a lot of
gore
and stuff.
I guess that was a stupid question.
And so it is going to have. So there are scenes that you know where you have blood bursting and whatnot.
It's his favorite thing,
as you would expect in any Tarantino film. However, again, not going to throw anything away, but this movie. You get very attached to the characters. You're always rooting for the characters. They get put in weird situations. I've heard this film kind of being compared to a Seinfeld episode because these characters are kind of living their day-to-day life, and you know things are happening around them. They're not really focusing or paying attention to all the little elements around them. Yeah. But it all culminates to the final third act, and again, not giving anything away, but it's a great ending. I think Tarantino, he really captured the love and appreciation for Hollywood. You know, nowadays the culture, I think, has kind of changed, but just because back in the day, all these celebrities, they were looked at as icons and kind of like these golden gods on top of the Hollywood hills. But nowadays, you know, we have celebrities that are really open about themselves, and that mystery, that star esque mystery has vanished. And so we go back in time to a different era of Hollywood, and it's great to see that. You kind of get hip with the nostalgia factor, but honestly, it's really the characters and the script that drive this movie forward. And even though it is 2 hours and 45 minutes, it doesn't feel that way. I think the pacing is just right. If it was a little longer, I would feel the fatigue, but I think it did a really good job. I recommend it.
Yeah.
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
I feel like Tarantino is one of my favorite screenwriters, definitely, because he takes chances. He has a lot of fun with it. I really enjoy watching him talk about his process for creating his movies and writing them. And, you know, he comes up with this one idea and then he writes the whole movie around it and just has as much fun with it as possible. And I really appreciate that. So if you ever want to watch Quentin Tarantino talking about screenplays, there's a few of them.
Yeah,
He's a great screenwriter. But my one question is, okay, so some people have been saying, well, this film kind of glorifies Charles Manson and kind of makes him look like, a martyr god or a killer god or whatever.
Yeah.
Do you feel that way? Did you feel that way when you were watching it?
This isn't giving anything away. Surprisingly, there wasn't that much Charles Manson.
Okay.
There was much more focus on his clan, on his family, and so you have several dozen people that were following him at the time, and so they go to the ranch where they were living. Back in the 60s. And so it does talk about them, and it does show them and how they kind of operate and what their mindset is, but it doesn't glorify it.
Okay,
and
good to know.
And I think the ending is going to surprise some people. It does. The last 10 minutes, your heart's racing because you're trying to see when the axe is going to drop. No pun intended. But then the movie ends.
Pun intended, I think.
Yeah,
I think there was pun intended there.
But it's a great movie.
So I wanted to